This is the Ferrari F2001, rendered in 1/18th scale by Mattel Hot Wheels Elite, as driven by Michael Schumacher in the 2001 Hungarian Grand Prix. The 2001 Formula One World Championship is a season remembered for the dominance of the Scuderia Ferrari team and their driving ace, Michael Schumacher. Over the course of 17 races held that year, Schumacher and Ferrari claimed victory in 9 rounds of the championship, netting a total points haul of 123 and a 4th World Championship for Schumacher, his second in succession. Although not claiming any wins in his own right, number 2 Ferrari man Rubens Barrichello stalwartly scored 56 World Championship points on his way to 3rd overall in the standings. Combined, Schumacher and Barrichello netted 179 Constructors' points for the Scuderia, giving them their 3rd consecutive Constructors' title. The primary protagonist powering such performance prowess was, of course, the Ferrari F2001. As a design study, it is a near-perfect racing car. Designers Rory Byrne and Ross Brawn, both of whom had penned World Championship-winning chassis previously, drew upon past lessons learned via their experiences with earlier Ferrari machinery, such as the F300, F399, and F2000, and incorporated the strongest character attributes from these cars into their 2001 concept. The result was a car featuring essentially the same mechanical layout as its predecessors, a 3-liter naturally aspirated V10 mounted midships running through a 7-speed semi-automatic gearbox, but several improvements aimed at increasing aerodynamic efficiency and complying with new wing height regulations, hence the distinctive droop nose and spoon profile front wing, as well as optimizing suspension layout to best comply with the soon-to-be reinstated traction control systems, found their way onto the F2001. The result, as previously mentioned, was a dominant overall package. Although compelling arguments are to be made regarding the superiority of the BMW engine powering the aerodynamically inferior Williams FW23, as well as the raw pace of McLaren's MP416 despite its reliability concerns, the fact of the matter is that opposition to Schumacher's and Ferrari's championship hunt was sporadic at best, although rival drivers David Coulthard, Mika Häkkinen, Juan Pablo Montoya, and Ralf Schumacher each claimed at least one victory during the year. Ferrari's securing of both drivers' and constructors' titles was essentially an academic affair, and that's exactly what the Scuderia wanted. The F2001's dominance even continued into 2002 when the car won the season opener in Australia, thus carrying the distinction of being one of very few Grand Prix cars to win the same event in consecutive years. Ferrari's 2001 championship titles were clinched at the Hungarian Grand Prix, hence the choice of subject matter for this model, which is a finely crafted and nicely detailed piece. Being part of Hot Wheels' Elite line, the model exhibits a few details which other similar pieces from Mattel lack, such as faux carbon photo etching on the suspension, exhaust heat shielding, and roll bar T-wing, as well as a representation of the gold leaf reflective stickers on the rear wishbones and beam wing. Like other Hot Wheels Formula One models, however, the F2001 features accurate shapes and positions of winglets and other aerodynamic appendages, crisp sponsorship graphics, rubber tires, and functional steering. My personal favorite on this model, however, is the cockpit, which does not feature a likeness of Michael Schumacher, but does harbor some exquisite detail, such as cloth seatbelts with photo-etched buckles, an accurately detailed steering wheel featuring shift and clutch paddles, representations of buttons and switches on the dashboard, and even minuscule reproductions of the FIA chassis certification decal, as well as the Ferrari chassis plate located on the right and left sides of the cockpit respectively. Earning honorable mention detail-wise are the tire valve stems which can be seen poking out of each wheel, a feature which is also unique to Hot Wheels' Elite line. There are, however, a few very minor manufacturing flaws which will be uncovered by keen eyes. A few of the foil decals meant to represent the quick-release fastener securing the nose section as well as the engine cover were applied rather poorly, but given that racing cars are meant to go fast, not to look pretty, the flaws deserve to be overlooked as they do not really detract from the overall presentation of the model. Of somewhat higher concern, though, is the fact that the front and rear wings are not secured very tightly and are apt to wobble at even the slightest touch. Such fragility may warrant future repair, and it's always a risk when superglue comes into the vicinity of super slick enamel finishes. In all, however, the Ferrari F2001, both in life and in 1/18th scale, is a superb example of what can happen when everything comes good in the design of a racing car. For Ferrari, it gave them a Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. For scale model collectors, the Ferrari F2001 by Mattel Hot Wheels will provide an interesting showpiece with exceptional provenance, and the almost certain prospect of becoming a highly sought-after item in the future.